Hi, I'm Chris Howard and welcome to another edition of Foul Play. Today we're going to be discussing the O.J. Simpson trial, his acquittal, and more specifically Time Magazine's portrayal of the trial and how they edited his photos in order to gain a more salacious view of the trial. And we're going to talk about the ethics behind editing photos and how the media can sometimes take liberties that interfere with our rights by editing photos of us to gain a certain picture that they're looking for. Let me set the scene for you. October 4th, 1995, not only the day that your very own Chris Howard was born, and I know what you're wondering, so I got some photos. Yes, I was a very cute little kid. Also the day that O.J. Simpson was found innocent to the murder of his wife and the server at the restaurant where he had recently been waited on. Now, once again, we're not talking about whether he's innocent or he's guilty, because we all know he did it. From him writing that stupid "If I Did It" book to him using the whole "if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit defense," it's all garbage. We all know he did it. But the question is the way the media portrayed him and the way they altered the photographs of him they put in their magazines an ethical way of reporting the news in an unbiased manner? Alright, take a good look at these two photos. On the left is Newsweek, on the right is Time. Both of these covers hit shelves June 27, 1994, almost a full year before the trial ever reached a verdict. Now, Newsweek put on their cover the unedited original mugshot of O.J. Simpson when he was arrested. Now, Time made the serial number smaller, they darkened the photo, and they made O.J. Simpson look menacing and criminal, almost as if they were convicting him before the trial ever reached an end. The problem with this is that a very different message can be conveyed to our audience if we're going to edit these photographs, and that's not always fair to the person in question. Now, I think we can all agree that it is not ethical the way Time magazine edited O.J. Simpson's photos. Now, we see it all the time in magazines of models and athletes, and they're photoshopped and airbrushed to look better, and that's never really taken into question. We just understand that. But when it actually comes to editing a photo in order to portray somebody as a criminal or as evil, that's when we get into the ethical debate of how far we can go in this new digital media age where we can alter photos and where we need to draw the line and say that some things aren't actually giving a fair shot to our athletes when we're putting them in such compromising positions. And if we can't find them in such compromising positions, well, then we'll just edit the photo until we have them where we want them. So where does this put us from a media law standpoint? It's not slander because it's not spoken word. It's not technically libel because it's not textual, but it is in a magazine. Now, back in the 90s, this was not as well known or as prevalent, but nowadays we have defamation of character and more specifically aspersion, and that is the legal term for when you are editing or you are taking something out of context and it doesn't actually fall under slander or libel. You can still have legal ramifications brought against you for editing the photo of somebody in a manner that would attack their good name. The fact of the matter is, it's not up to us to decide whether O.J. Simpson is guilty or innocent of whatever he did in the 90s or whatever he's doing these days. But if Time magazine was caught in 2015 altering photos to get a more artful and compelling representation, as they said back in 94, there would definitely be legal ramifications, because now that we've become more attuned to this digital media society, we understand how much can be lost in translation or how much can be implied simply by brightening or darkening a photo or making little alterations that change the entire message. And for that reason, it was not ethical in the way that Time magazine changed the mugshot of O.J. Simpson. Thank you for watching another edition of Foul Play. I'm Chris Howard, and we'll see you next week.